I mean to say it infects us in our most basic integrity. It says we can't be moral without Big Brother, without a totalitarian permission. Child made in the image of God. Oh no, you're not. You're a faggot. And you can't join your church and you can't go to heaven. This is disgraceful. It's inhuman.
This is going to be a small rant. I get tired of people comparing Bill Clinton and Donald Trump. First of all, Bill Clinton was a legitimate president who won the election fair and square. Twice. He was not a known sex predator at the time he was running for office and at the time he was elected. Nobody knew that he had issues as with his whatever little lack of control. Regardless of the fact that he had issues, he did have sound leadership. He brought our deficit way down. He contributed greatly to this country. He did a lot of good things. He was pretty much loved internationally. He did not embarrass us. In my opinion, personally, Bill Clinton was the best president I have seen in my lifetime. But as I said, nobody knew that he had any issues with his self-control until long into his second term. People who like to compare Bill Clinton to Donald Trump or divert attention to Bill Clinton to avoid confrontations about Donald Trump. They voted for Trump knowing before he was elected, but while he was running, that he had issues regarding women and how he treated women and his bragging about abusing women and allegations of him committing rape and assault. That was all public knowledge before he was running for office. And yet the people who voted for him despite all these things. So when they compare, these people compare what they have done voting for Trump knowing that he's a sex predator, not just a sex predator, but a confessed, boastful sex predator. When they criticize Democrats for voting for Bill Clinton, it's not even in the same ballpark. Bill Clinton was not a known offender at the time he was being voted into office. He didn't walk around and flaunt his ability to abuse women and brag about it. And he certainly never showed any signs, at least not publicly, for a very long time. People voted for him because he seemed like a good leader, which he actually was. His whatever lecherous behavior really did not affect his ability to lead the country or his ability to do a good job. So despite the fact that he was a lech, he was still able to be a good president, make good decisions, lead this country in a good direction, and help with the deficit and increase our reputation worldwide. So in every other respect, he was a good president. Whereas Trump, in addition to the fact that he's a sex predator and a confessed and boastful one, he is not a good leader. He has not helped our reputation in the world. His tax plan will raise the deficit, not lower it. Everything he looks at, he wants to destroy. He can't even manage to act like a grown-up, never mind act like a president. He has no self-control. He cannot handle an insult. He's like a little girl in that respect. He's worse than a little girl. I've seen little girls with more self-control. I should say like little boys, because I think little boys have more of a problem with that than little girls. But my point is he's thin-skinned. He can't take criticism. He doesn't learn from criticism or from what other people think or from his own mistakes. He can't admit that he has mistakes. What really amazes me about Trump is his godlike qualities, which makes me think that the people who invented the Christian God, or the biblical God, I should say, because the biblical God is also the God of Judaism, Islam, and Christianity. The people who invented that God must have been like Trump, because Trump, I think the God in the Bible mirrors his creators, and his creators must have been like Trump. Jealous, boastful, can't get enough praise and adoration. Very sexist, very bigoted. The God of the Bible was extremely bigoted. Yet he too discriminated against the handicapped people. In the Bible, he doesn't allow anybody with any kind of flaw or blemish to enter his temple. I think Trump is like, maybe that's why Christianity likes him. Maybe that's why Christians like him. Maybe that's why Christians liked Hitler and supported Hitler as well, because they did. The German church supported Hitler and even referred to him as God's spirit moving on the earth. Here we have Christianity glomming onto this man who walks around pretending he's godly and pretending he's religious, and he has this big concern about God and the Bible, which is hysterical because he has no track record, no record of going to church except for show now that he's president. He has done nothing in his life that would look, even resemble like a godly person would do. Cheating people, swindling people, lying to people, avoiding having to pay taxes, avoiding having to pay people what he contracted them for the work he contracted them to do. He doesn't pay them after they do the work. Basically cheating people, lying like most people breathe. Showing zero respect for women, having this incredibly superficial attitude about women and people in general. It's all about what's on the outside. Looks, appearance, youth is so much better than age. He's like the worst example of male behavior, male whatever, lowest base characteristics that you can think of. I mean, if you have a man, I don't want to sound sexist because it's the same kind of thing with women too, but he's a man, so that's why I'm saying men here. If you have a male person and you take out every imaginable good quality, my mother used to refer to the lizards and the eagles. My father was an eagle as far as his personality and his behaviors and how he treated other people. She referred to him as eagle. He soared above other people. He gave, he cared, he had compassion and understanding, and he put others before himself. Trump would be the lizard. He doesn't have any of those qualities. He crawls on his belly. You know, he doesn't care about anything. He looks at a beautiful park or a beautiful mountain or a beautiful vista in front of him. He doesn't say, oh wow, that's so beautiful, you know, we need to preserve that for our children and their children and for other life on this planet, which by the way needs to live if we want to live. We can't just, oh well, you know, they don't matter. Yeah, they do matter. Just look at the honeybees. If the honeybees go away, what is going to pollinate the plants that produce the grains that we need to eat? So yeah, we kind of do need other animals to be able to live on this planet too. I just read a statistic that like 75% of the world's insects are gone. Insects are like the lowest part of the food chain. Other animals need insects to survive, and animals that eat the animals that eat the insects need those animals to survive, and so on and so on and so on. It's all this very fragile thing, and we've already destroyed 75% of the bugs. I can't even grasp that. And here we have this man who, rather than look around him and say, wow, you know, we're teetering on the brink of our own extinction, instead of recognizing this, he's like, oh, look at that beautiful vista. We need to plow that up. We need to drill. We need to take down all those trees and build condos or strip malls or a big old plant. We need to start pumping out coal factories again and polluting the air again. He doesn't care. That's just the other thing. He doesn't care about people. You know, he doesn't care if your children breathe dirty air or drink dirty water, or if they get poisoned by it. And then good luck trying to get them to the doctor, because you probably won't have insurance if he gets his way. Nothing this man does, he does for ordinary people. Nothing he does for the sake of the planet or the sake of the future of humankind. All he does is about himself and his rich billionaires and his rich corporation billionaire friends and whatever. You know, I hear people say, oh, well, he's done so much for ordinary men. What has he done? He's created more ditch digging jobs, maybe, or more coal factory jobs. Well, good for, what about the middle class? It's nice that he's found jobs for the blue collar man, but what about the middle class? Has he made one peep about making offshoring jobs illegal? Making that practice illegal? Good luck finding a single company in America that does not offshore jobs. I just found out Sears does this. Sears is like the most American company I can think of, and they offshore jobs. There's not a single company that I can think of. T-Mobile, Comcast, I can't even think of a company where you call customer service and you do not get somebody in the Philippines or in India or whatever, Indonesia or whatever. Good luck finding a company that is in the United States. Or if you try to call customer service, this is another thing I've noticed. If you have a bad experience at a store and you look up, you try to get that store's number to call that store and complain about the experience you just had 5 minutes ago, you're going to have no luck contacting that store. This seems to be another thing. Stores don't have phone numbers anymore. There's a corporate number that you get, and you get a dispatcher, and he pretty much takes notes for all the stores in the country. You can't actually talk to the asshole who just treated you like shit in the store you were just at. You have to talk to so-and-so in Indiana who might write down a few notes. Customer service is dead in this country, but even more, and customer service is middle-class jobs. Customer service jobs, those are the things that middle-class people used to do. And what's happening to the jobs that support the middle class and their lifestyle? Where are they going? Oh, that's right, they're going out of the country. If Trump really gave a damn about the middle class or the poor who I'm trying to think of the word, they want to become middle class, he would make the practice of offshoring jobs illegal. He would bring those offshored jobs back to this country. Customer service jobs would exist again in a meaningful way. I'm sorry, the ones that do exist still, you're talking to Joe Schmo, who's got a script in front of him that he reads off of, and he doesn't really even understand what he's saying. That's what customer service is now in this country. And if you ask to speak to a supervisor, you'll get his boss, who also has a script that he reads off of. And if you ask to speak to, and then you sound and feel incredibly racist at this point, somebody in America, please. What do you get? You get, well, we can't guarantee if we put you back in the queue that you'll get to America, and then maybe you'll end up in a different country, not America. And then you have to call and call and call until finally you might get somebody in America. Good luck trying to speak to anybody who really understands what you're saying, who's in this country, that is getting paid by a company that is from this country. If Trump cared about us, that would be the first thing he would have done, is made offshoring jobs illegal. But he didn't do it, and neither did Obama. And the reason they aren't doing it is because this country has been bought by corporations. Corporations pull the strings now. Corporations are people, didn't you know? They're not just corporations, they're people, and they get a vote, and they get to buy their allegiances in politics. They get to pull the strings of politicians, and they are the ones that control what happens in this country. Not the people. The people do not control. We do not have a say anymore with what happens in this country. The big corporations do. So here's my question. If corporations can be people, and now they get to have big tax breaks and deductions thanks to the GOP-dominated House and Senate. They get to have big tax breaks and deductions while us poor people struggling to survive without any middle-class jobs anymore, We don't get deductions on our taxes anymore. We don't get tax breaks. I would like to know, if discrimination is wrong in every other respect, why is it okay to discriminate against the poor and middle class and have double standards in favor of the rich in this country? Why do the rich get to play by different rules than everybody else? Why isn't it that why can't we have the same benefits and deductions as the rich people do? I don't feel like filing taxes next year because of what has just happened. I do not feel like filing taxes because I feel like the government that we have now has proven itself to be the enemy of ordinary people. And I don't want to contribute. In good conscience, I do not want to contribute to a machine that that wants to and continues to destroy and hurt innocent people. I don't want anything to do with that. I don't want to contribute to it and fuel it and help it to run. And I don't think it's fair. If I don't get the same deductions that the guy next door in his mansion gets, how is that fair? How is it fair that ordinary me who has to take out of my retirement even sometimes to pay taxes because I can't afford it, I'm the one that will go to jail if I don't pay my taxes. But Joe Schmo in his mansion, he who can afford to pay his taxes doesn't have to, or he gets all these breaks and deductions so he doesn't have to pay nearly as much, whereas I'm expected to pay all of it, and if I don't, I go to jail. How is this right or fair? But this is because the ones who control, who call the shots, who sit around the table and go, well, gee, if I vote for this, I'll get to pay, I will get a break, and my property will cost me less to have. I'll get to go buy a bigger castle if I vote for this. Basically, that's what caused this tax thing to be voted through. A bunch of rich guys sitting around a table, very biased rich guys voting for something for their own benefit, not for the benefit of the people, because they don't care about the people who give them this job, who they're supposed to represent. They don't care. They only care about themselves and making money. And who's at the helm? One of their buddies. One of their good buddies who wants to line his pockets as well as their pockets and take from the poor and give to the rich. This man is not comparable with Bill Clinton. The only thing they have in common is they're both sex predators. And one of them was a sex predator and known to be a sex predator before he was elected, while the other one we found that out along the way. But he still was a good president. He still did good things. Trump does not do good things. He's a lot of hot air. He likes to take credit for things Obama did. That's what he has done. What has he done? He has taken credit for what Obama has done or destroyed the progress Obama did for this country. And that's another thing. Our country never goes forward. We continue to go backward. Instead of being leaders in the world, in innovation and education, we're toward the bottom now. Other countries are way ahead of us. Why is that? It's because every time we make some progress, along comes Republican candidates that win and just undo all the progress that we just made, and they take us back. We go forward a little bit, and they take us back. Human rights goes forward, they take us back. Cannabis, which is so beneficial to people in so many ways, they want to take that back. Gay rights, they want to take that back. Women's rights, they want to take that back. Education, science, they want to take that back because it's anti-God, which is a fact. It's the greatest enemy of religion is knowledge and science. And what is controlling our country now? Religion. We have the majority of the people in our government are Christians, or they say they are, or they're religious right whatevers. And their agenda is to shove their cult's beliefs down everybody's throats. And So you have big corporations manipulating our government, and you have the religious right manipulating our government, and the people don't have a say anymore. We don't have a say. And the only thing I can think of that could possibly sink this ship and give us a chance to reclaim it is for the people to rise up, and not in a violent way. I'm sorry, but I don't think ordinary people would stand a chance against the U.S. military. But we have other ways we can resist. We have other ways we can fight. One of them is, taxes. Imagine if the 99%, or even, because you're going to have all the sycophants of Trump, they're going to mindlessly pay their taxes and think they're getting something good. Yeah, oh yeah, Trump's so wonderful. But the people who know better, if all of us didn't file, what would happen? Would they put us all in jail? Would they? Could they? I don't know, I'm really angry right now. I'm just disgusted that this man, I mean, Bill Clinton was impeached for telling one lie under oath. And this man lies through his teeth every single fucking day. Now we have President Obama going around the world trying to do damage control and trying to be the shadow president, because we honestly haven't had a real president for the last year. We've had no president. I'm waiting for us to get a president. The election was sabotaged. So why are they treating it like it's valid? Like it's legitimate? The only thing that wasn't sabotaged was the popular vote, and Hillary won the popular vote. So as far as I'm concerned, every day that piece of shit is sitting in the Oval Office, he's taking away from Hillary's term that she rightfully won. And if you don't think she rightfully won, well, why don't we have an election that isn't sabotaged? Why doesn't America deserve that much? A fair and honest and correct result. We didn't have a fair, honest, correct result, and yet we're supposed to accept it as legit. I don't. I haven't. I'm still waiting for that re-election. Okay, well, we know, everybody knows. It's not just theory now. Everybody knows that the election was meddled with, tampered with, and sabotaged. And we're still expected to call this thing, and that's what I call him. He's a thing. He's not a human. He's a human-shaped bag of shit is what he is. We're still expected to call that thing president. I don't, and I've lost respect for my government, and I've lost respect for the position of president, and I've totally lost respect for everybody who is in the government who is Republican. Zero respect for these people. I have zero respect for Christianity, because Christianity has shown its true colors. I mean, we already knew, but now it's like beyond a shadow of a doubt. They still support Trump, even though he's a sex predator. They still support Ray Moore, even though it's exceedingly clear this man is he's a pedophile. And they still support him. There is no end to how disgusted I am at Christianity. You know, judge a book by its cover? No, you judge a book by what's inside. And we have seen in the last year what is inside this cult that walks around with its nose in the air claiming to be better than everybody else, and they have such higher standards of morality than everybody else. Really? Look at the actions. Look what happens when you talk to a Christian and you don't agree with them long enough. They start calling you names. They start saying, well, you know, I can't wait to see you in hell. I mean, their true colors come out. And we are seeing the true colors of Christianity all over this country now. It is the thing that is fueling the GOP, and the GOP has poisoned our government. The GOP that could give a rat's ass about anything except for making money for themselves and nobody else. Bill Clinton is a very flawed man, but he is nothing like what I have seen in the last year. Nothing. And I'm not just talking about the thing in the Oval Office. I'm talking about the creatures under him who are just as horrible. They put party first over country. They put their pocketbook over the lives of everybody else. And it is time we say, enough is enough. I mean, we did not ask to have our election sabotaged. We did not ask for it, and we do not deserve to have to be tortured this way and suffer the consequences of a sabotaged election month after month after month, and having to live in a country where we don't even have a president, really. And the thing that walks around calling itself president does nothing but humiliate and embarrass and destroy. We deserve better. We didn't ask for this. And I think enough is enough. And I really am angry, and that is why I wanted to put this video together. I've been thinking about this and stewing over this for several weeks, not sure what kind of video I could make. I just knew I had to say something. Enough is enough. They have attacked every single thing that the middle class and the poor, you know, we have certain things that help us survive, and every single one of those things they have attacked. And now taxes. I remember the day when I would do taxes and I'd hope when I got through putting all the numbers in, maybe I would get a return and not have to pay any money. Those days are done. With what they've just done, there's no deductions now. Those days are done. I'll be paying taxes now, guarantee, every single year. No hope of getting anything back. Only feeding the monster that is hurting us more. That's what they want us to do. Feed the monster that is hurting us. Enough is enough. Go march. Go march until you're blue in the face. Go sign petitions until you're blue in the face. Guess what? They don't care. They don't read them. They laugh. Go stand in their offices and hold signs and yell, and they don't care. You know, the people, the leaders in the red states that you can't call on the phone and tell them what you think because you don't live in that state, their decisions still affect everybody in all the different states, not just theirs. Yet we can't communicate with those people, and they're very careful about shielding themselves. So many times if you do manage to get through to those offices, their message, whatever, voicemail message box is full. Good luck trying to communicate with anybody in the government, really. Even my own representatives, if you call them and say, I'd really like a response, I'd really like you to call me back, I'd really like a message back, they don't. This is not our country. What are we going to do about it? When do we say enough is enough and we start taking risks? It is a risk to say, I'm not going to file for taxes. You might end up in jail. But is our country, is our future, are our children worth it? I remember when women's suffrage movements, women ended up in jail because it mattered to them that much to have the right to have a say about what happens to this country. Is it worth a little risk to save our parks, our air, our water, our health care, our ability to survive? Is it worth it? That's my question. Because I don't see that it is worth it to a lot of people. All I see are petitions and marching and people holding signs. Obviously that doesn't work. It's been a year. It doesn't work. Anyway, that's the end of my rant. If you've been listening, thanks. Bye.
I am absolutely convinced that the main source of hatred in the world is religion. And I think it should be religion treated with ridicule and hatred and contempt.